Picks.
And there he is. A happy Victoria Day to you, my friend.
Can you fill us in? What is Victoria Day? What do we celebrate?
I was really hoping that you wouldn't ask me that because I feel like we've had this discussion on the show before, what exactly Victoria Day is. I can't say that Victoria Day. I can't say that I know for a fact, but it is sort of our version.
Honoring Queen Victoria's birthday.
Yes.
We knew that. I mean, we were just pretending.
Who is Queen Victoria?
It's a great question.
Victoria Beckham? No.
Yeah.
It would have been nice, I must say, it would have been nice to get a little Canadian flag.
No, we don't do that.
There, but everyone's off today. Did you watch, by the way, did I get it? Did I miss it?
No, it didn't happen.
Did you watch the royal wedding?
Let's save that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
All right.
So how about what's your next banter item? I want to save that one for the question segment. What else you got?
Well, what about the influx of questions that you probably received about?
Oh, I definitely got some of those.
Yeah. Are those in Rick's picks as well?
No, but how about this?
Yes.
I want to talk about this show.
Okay.
I mean, it got real emotional with Mauro there.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the guy poured his entire heart out.
You really did.
Onto the set. It was incredible. How about that late edition Yair? It was just it was a monster.
Yeah, we're not taking our foot off the gas here. And
No.
I have to tell you, I am so emotionally spent from the Mauro conversation. And I'm so happy that I even mentioned to you, like, I wonder if I should bring up the unfollowing on Twitter, and he brought it up. That, I've said this before, that I don't know what's been the greatest ever interview and all that, and I don't think it's fair to do that kind of list. But that has to be in the stratosphere.
Sure. It's in the top tier. You break it down, there's, but
and I know you love Mauro as well. You worked with him.
I love him.
Were you at that Invicta show where he didn't show up?
I was. Yeah. TJ DeSantis filled in and is now the current commentator.
That happened on like 24, 48 hour notice, right?
I think it was even might have been morning of, like it was same day or right before. I was at that show. But I've also worked with Mauro at Glory. Like I've known him for a long time, and he's never been anything but kind and gracious to me.
He's 100% right too. Like his thing, this man, you may think he has an ego, he really doesn't. Like his whole thing has always been to help out younger journalists. That's why he had me on his show. I was 1 month into this. I was working for myself, jerrypark.com. I had just launched the website. It was not more than a month and a half old at best. And a ton of credit goes, of course, to John Pollock, who was the one who reached out to me. But I don't get on Mauro's show without Mauro's consent. And so, like, how often does that happen? Someone with his experience and his tenure to have someone like me on his show.
And even beyond that, he's the type of person, not away from, the business side of it. He's the type of person, whenever you run into him, remembers every name you've told him in the past, asks about whatever the latest and greatest you just had the conversation about. He's always interested in and cares about what you have to say. Could not speak more highly of Mauro, an incredible dude. Yeah,
he is really something else. And I'm so happy that this show was able to bring us back together. And again, I know you haven't seen the documentary. I could not recommend it enough to anyone. Any walk of earth, anyone who is interested in anything will be interested in that. It has nothing to do really with combat sports. If you're a combat sports fan, it's even better because you'll appreciate the moments and you'll know the characters throughout. But it's really much more than all of that.
Absolutely. You'll remember how many moments in this sport and other sport, not just MMA and boxing, in kickboxing, how many different things he's touched in your life. He's the voice of this.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, let's start with Rick's picks. Okay. So, first one up. We're going to start with some highlights from the most recent event in Chile. This first one, Claudio Puelles. Yeah, I think that's right. Puelles.
Where's Danny when you need him?
I asked him earlier, but now he's been gone. But clearly losing the first 2 rounds and coming back with an incredible knee bar to get it done. Reminiscent of Paul Craig getting it done with the triangle at the end of the round. We've seen some ridiculous comebacks. And most recently Jack Hermanson. There's been some real strong candidates for comeback of the year. this year. We move on from the same event. There were so many, not only just great finishes, but first-round finishes. Gabriel Benitez here with the incredible slam. This one was on everybody's highlight reel over the weekend. We're going to see him here. Going to get his arm a little bit deep into the arm bar.
This is nuts.
And here comes the slam.
Oh my.
If you're watching, he's fighting the arm bar here. It looked to be pretty close. Lift it up.
Oh my dear.
And pretty much over from that moment. What an incredible slam by
Think
Gabriel
about the
Benitez.
strength that you must have to pull off something like that. To
Well,
not only
beyond
lift the man, but then to knock him out in the process.
Well, beyond just the strength, consider he has to be aware of his defenses.
Yeah.
While he's planning to do this offensive maneuver. It's not as easy as he can just pick him up. He has to be aware that he can't give up the arm. Incredible slam by Gabriel Benitez. We also had a great finish here from Poliana Botelho with the body shot, the liver kick starting off the action. But another incredible first-round finish.
There was a slew of them, and she's a prospect to watch. She's 2-0 now in the UFC, and those aren't the kind of finishes that we see at 115.
No,
that was
vicious. Impressive stuff. Definitely one to watch. Definitely one on the rise. Another one kind of flies under the radar, but author of quite a few of these knockouts, Vicente Luque. Stiff shot here. Not the whole finish, but the strike that started it off against Chad Lepre. And then Dominic Reyes with the sneaky uppercut against Jared Cannonier.
Reyes, another name.
Undefeated, I believe 9-0 at this point. Some new blood for the light heavyweight division. And then the last one we'll show from that event, Tatiana Suarez getting it done against Alexa Grasso. Another first-round finish from this event. Tons of first-round finishes.
Suarez
somehow went to 115.
115, what, in the morning?
AM, yeah.
Oh, my God. 13 fights. But the problem is it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Yeah, because you fill the time.
Yes,
but
they fill the time. They don't, like, it's...
when there's more finishes, it's almost worse because you're sitting there knowing that you're not getting the fight.
I know. Imagine watching a baseball game and this thing is flying by, right? This thing is flying by. It's just like 9 pitches an inning, flying by it. But, man, they've got it booked for 3 hours on Fox, and they're going to play this thing out. So we just get, like, you know...
Well, it's... The problem is you want to get the excitement, right? Imagine it if we're using the baseball comparison, the guy striking out the side in like 3 pitches, and then we're sitting there for another 20 minutes until he's pitching again, or until the next team even gets their at bats. It's hard to capitalize on these first round finishes if next you're going to be watching 15 minutes of Lord knows what.
Yeah.
But I'll do credit to the fighters who are doing their jobs in there. Some really, really nice finishes from that event. Also from this event, obviously, we had a main event featuring Kamaru Usman and Demian Maia. Demian Maia, all class, as we've known him to be.
Yes.
Congratulating Usman after the fight, saying congratulations to Usman for the win. It was a great experience to compete against you. When I took the call 3 weeks ago, I knew it would be a very hard challenge, and I'm proud to have come back here and done it. You deserved the chance, and Chile deserved a card. Best of luck. Class. Just if this, well, what do you think for Demian Maia going from here? He's on a bit of a skid against clearly top opposition. But what do you think we're looking at next for Demian?
That is a very good question. He's now 0-3 in his last 3. I saw this incredible stat from some good sources. John Anik was one of them, where they said he was 0-49
on takedowns. Yes,
is that man, that is hard to fathom.
Now you have to.
Look who
always,
he's fighting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to always put this up against the fact that these are some of the best wrestlers in not only the division but the world. These are top wrestlers.
Yeah. No, he needs to now. Okay, now it is confirmed. Like he has 3 fights left.
Yeah.
It is going to take an act from God, and I think he recognized that to get a title shot. So
Yep.
at this point, let's ride out these 3 fights. If in fact he gets the opportunity to partake in these 3 fights, because we know how things go.
Yeah.
Let's get the best matchups possible. And I'm not saying, we're going to take some youngster and build up Demian Maia off of him, but let's get some fights that make sense. Let's get some fights that make sense for Demian. So,
and the thing is, he's clearly right at that level below where you need to be to compete for that title shot.
Yeah.
At this point, it's not that long ago that he got his shot against Tyron Woodley, but he's right at that level where he can still be a hell of a tough competition for some of these guys in the fringe of the top 5, top 10. In fact, probably taking them down and submitting them, and then not the level above that where it's required to take to the next step to get that title shot again. There's plenty of interesting matchups, I think, for him, as long as the goal is not to keep advancing toward that title shot, because I think that's going to be tough. I think there's plenty of interesting fights for him in the top 10 that could go his way, could go the other way, and I'm still interested in seeing him. 0-49 aside, I still think there's plenty of people he can take down. I think Kamaru Usman it was more an account of him than saying I think Demian Maia doesn't have it anymore. The way he was stuffing the takedowns showed me more about him than necessarily that Demian Maia isn't able to bring people to the ground anymore, because he was deep on some shots, and Kamaru just is an incredible defensive wrestler.
To me, the bigger question is, what do they do with Usman?
Of course.
Like, what kind of favors did he do himself in that fight? He obviously advances, he wins.
Yeah.
But how far does he advance?
It's hard to argue with the results in the record. I mean, at this point, it's hard for anybody to argue that he's not in that upper tier, and it's hard for, like, if Colby Covington is now getting a shot against Rafael dos Anjos for an interim title, is Usman not deserving of that level? Is Usman not in that conversation?
Yeah, but this is the entertainment business. The reason why Colby Covington is getting that
is because he's talking on social media. He's talking in the cage. It's going to be hard to deny him. We'll see how many fights it's going to take, but it's going to be hard to deny him. What will be even harder maybe is getting him fights, because he's the type of fighter that maybe is not going to talk the way Colby Covington's going to talk, and not going to be able to sell that fight if you're his opponent, and then you're looking at a likely loss because he's so good. It's a difficult position that he's in, but I think it will ultimately be hard to deny him.
Yeah, I think he's probably at this point maybe 2. I don't think he's going to get a title shot next.
Yeah, it's wild.
2, maybe 3. He needs people to play ball. He needs to get those fights. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy if I was a 170er that had to face him next. But he did have a fight booked with Ponzinibbio. Maybe they can rebook that. We'll see. Also from the weekend, Nikita Krylov versus Fabiana Maldonado.
Yes.
This was over on Fight Pass on Fight Nights Global, getting the knockout over the durable Fabiana Maldonado. Krylov, I believe, is now 4-0 since leaving the UFC.
4-0. I do believe with 4 finishes.
Not a shocker. The guy was good. Al Capone getting it done. Also, wanted to give a shout out to the team at Fight Pass who put together this great video piece with Darren Till, featuring our very own, not our very own, but friend of the show,
yes,
John Gooden.
The man, the proud new dad.
New father, John Gooden. So
yes.
Shout out to him and that team. Really, really good stuff. I had a chance to watch some of it.
This is something that John, this was like a passion project for him that he kind of went out on a limb and did on his own initially. So kudos to him for doing that.
Yeah, check this one out over at Fight Pass. Some great content right now leading up into the event this weekend. Speaking of the event this weekend, speaking of Darren Till, Stephen Thompson and Darren Till to be broadcast on BBC Radio.
Yes, I love this.
Live for the first time. There was a lot of conversation about, well, isn't this something from the Stone Age? It's not on BBC TV. What are your thoughts on a radio broadcast of a UFC fight?
I freaking love this. This is incredible. I actually feel like MMA on the radio is very doable. It's a great idea.
How do you feel about sports generally on the radio?
Oh, freaking love it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, baseball on the radio is heaven, especially if you have the right broadcaster doing the play-by-play. It's heavenly. There are some other sports like hockey's a little trickier. I think football is very easy to digest on the radio. Basketball to a degree is a little tougher. So what did I say? Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Back in the day, of course, we all know that boxing has been around over a century. boxing used to be very prevalent on the radio. So I think this is great. This is a really nice first step.
Well, it's a plus, right? You could watch it or you can listen to it. This is only going to help the audience numbers. The idea isn't to drive hardcore fans who already know where to get the visual broadcast of this fight. This is to expose to audiences who may not have been tuning in, have this radio channel, tune into it, and get an exposure to a huge fight. But I mean, it speaks more to the strength of Darren Till and getting this done in Liverpool. Now the fight going to be broadcast on one of their major radio stations.
Incredible,
unbelievable.
Yeah, I love it. And I don't know. I see some people complain. Like, what are you complaining about?
It's just bonus.
It's not replacing TV.
It's not replacing a television broadcast. Don't worry about that.
What if you're driving and you still want to catch the action? Now you can for this particular fight. It's not a constant fixture, but how is that bad? Like, what is there to complain about?
I've become a recent fan of a lot of NBA on the radio.
Let me tell you, our man Sean Grande is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I choose to listen to him, and he's the Celtics guy. But I just think that they are so.
That's perfect. You could tune into him tonight as they lose
phenomenal.
to the Cavs.
It's phenomenal.
It'll be great.
Yeah, whatever.
Listen to Sean as he calls a massacre.
I'm really liking what the Cavs are doing these days, I must say.
Nice one. Okay. We talked about this a little bit earlier. In fact, you asked the man himself, but we're featuring here Alistair Overeem posting about the switch in the lineup for UFC 222. Yes. Just found out that our fight June 9th. This is Alistair speaking on social. What do you guys think of that decision? Here we see the main card on pay-per-view: Whitaker versus Romero, Dos Anjos versus Covington, Holly Holm versus Megan Anderson, Arlovsky versus Tai Tuivasa, and CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. Overeem versus Blades moved down to the featured prelim.
Great for those two guys.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Well, there's still a prestige. There's still a prestige thing.
What? That's ridiculous. If you're not making any money off of the $64.99 or whatever the hell it is, what do you care? Go first. Well, maybe not first. Maybe not on Fight Pass. Go like between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern time. Who cares?
It's interesting that this is still a topic.
Yes.
Like Uriah Faber was talking about this when it first was happening, saying, put me in that spot.
He was one of the first guys.
I want to be in that spot.
Yes.
It's interesting. And Overeem we heard from saying, hey, it's better for me on earlier. My people in Europe can watch it sooner. In fact, actually, I have that on a tweet. He says, for the record, I have no problem with the decision because now people in Europe don't have to stay up late, and the sooner the better. He also said on our show he's fine with fighting earlier. In fact, he wants to get it done. I think, that's one half of the equation. We have the other half responding on Twitter. Curtis Blades responding to bjpenn.com, who tweeted out that news saying, we're still getting paid, right? So if his pay is not changing, he's good with it too.
Let me tell you something. If I'm not getting all up in arms about this, they'll get up all in arms.
Exactly.
About this. It's really not that big a deal, and both of them are taking the right approach here.
Yeah,
it really isn't that big of a deal. And again, it just goes to show, if you are attending that event, I don't want to hear a peep from the people in Chicago about not getting good cards. Overeem versus Blades on the
not
prelims,
even on the pay-per-view,
and others on the prelims as well. I don't want to hear a peep from Chicago because they've been complaining that they don't get, like, any city that complains that we don't get good enough cards. You can't complain because you're getting cards, because there's many cities all across the world that would love to just go to a UFC event. So don't complain about that. And now you're getting a card of this magnitude, and you're getting Overeem versus Blades on the prelims. Come on, get out of here.
Yeah, $225 is money. Okay. Brian Stann, a little bit of news from the MMA world. Brian Stann joining PFL to lead the competition/rules committee.
Great.
This article here from MMA Fighting.
Great hiring.
Brian Stann getting back into the MMA game. I think everybody's going to be for this.
Yes.
UFC Fight Night Moscow officially announced for September 15th. Yair talking a little bit ago about saying he wanted Zabit in his house.
That's wild.
But
what did you make of that? The whole interview.
I thought he gave a really good account of himself. I think he's in a good spot, it sounds like, in terms of how he's handling and processing the news. Thankful for the opportunity that has been given, but sees this as another opportunity. And I think that's the only way you can kind of treat it. It's interesting to just hear, the actual way it played out behind the scenes, all the permutations, the different fights that he has accepted against all the different opponents that he's accepted against. In fact, accepting about a fight with Zabit, which was part of the kind of contention that wasn't really clear. He didn't turn down a fight with Zabit. He asked for more money to fight him in LA and then accepted for the same amount of money in Moscow. But I thought Yair did well. You reported earlier while we were doing the show that the main event for this event would be?
Yes.
Would be who?
Oh, Alexei Oleinik versus Fabricio Verdum.
Yep, headlining this Moscow card.
The battle of the submission heavyweights. I love it. Now, how about Verdum getting another nod in the main event spot after getting knocked out by Alexander Volkov? Volkov seems to be a great choice for that event, but he might be in line. I mean, like, there aren't that many guys for the winner of DC versus Stipe. So he might be in a tough spot there. I maintain, as we talked about on Thursday's MMA Beat, they could still do a Russia versus the world card, right?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I think that would do very well over there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Russia, a picture here from Habib Nurmagomedov's Instagram. Just a great picture. Just feature this. I don't know what the words say.
Yeah.
I just wanted to feature this because I really enjoyed this picture. It's nice to see Habib.
Look at that. Tell the people in case they're not.
Okay, so if you're listening on audio, he's wearing the MMAFighting.com shirt. And shout out to him for that. Actually, shout out to Danny Segura.
Yes.
For making the handoff. The unsung hero of this picture because he was the one who made the delivery.
When the guests come in studio, you get a parting gift. That's called class, right?
Yeah.
And Habib got not only a shirt, but he also got, I do believe, a mug.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
We'll see if that mug pops up anywhere. But for now, the shirt popping up on his Instagram.
Kind of surreal to see him repping.
Okay, we'll go through these quickly. John Jones responding to Chuck Liddell calling him out on our show last week, saying, old Chuck has been calling me out for years. I get it. I hold pretty much every record in the division. I normally try to respect my elders, but if you want it, come get it. I'd literally fly you out to Albuquerque this weekend. So he's obviously game if Chuck wants to do it right now. Continuing, you might want to test the strength of that jaw before you take a bite you can't chew. Continuing further, in all seriousness, Chuck Liddell, I appreciate your offer for a fight, but due to scheduling conflicts, may not be able to fulfill till mid-2019. We see an interesting insight there. In the upcoming months, I have similarly lethal opponents in Ric Flair and George Foreman awaiting. So a little bit tongue-in-cheek here from John Jones. I think the continuation of this goes, I'm done with all this internet bullshit for the time being. If you have something else to say to me, I've already invited you down to Albuquerque. Take care, old man Liddell. And one more, which I believe was the hammer on this one, adding Chuck Liddell and saying, as far as you teaching me how to really fight, quote unquote, and posting the last couple of losses on Chuck Liddell's resume. I think it's safe to say that John is winning this battle so far. But we'll see what happens from here. Not interested in seeing that fight, though.
No.
Under any circumstances, let's just not make this happen.
It seems to have lit a fire under John Jones, though. He is definitely...
it's true. Chuck Liddell has gotten him interested in a way that no other person that he could actually face has in recent history. Even the Daniel Cormier activity is not as much as he had for Chuck Liddell right there. More verbal sparring on social media, Twitter. Henry Cejudo going at Demetrius Johnson, saying
this was a weird one.
Listing the lowest pay-per-view in UFC history, check. Lowest title fight gate, check.
I don't even know if that's true, by the way.
Play video games all day, check.
Awesome.
Haven't fought for 8 months, check. Great fighter, but nobody cares to watch him, and I will kill the mouse. And he has a little hammer emoji next to the mouse emoji, to which Demetrius Johnson said, I clocked all those hours in gaming and still worked your ass. Which, I mean, that's it. There's nothing more to say at that point. It did continue, but I mean, that one's already over. Demetrius with the first round KO on that one.
The Cejudo heel turn on Twitter was an interesting one, and I even was targeted a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, he even went as far as to say, "Oh, it must be nice to get a crack at your dream." Like, first of all, buddy, you're an Olympic gold medalist, all right? So I kind of feel like you realized your dream, but maybe you have new dreams. That's cool, but don't get me involved and don't be taking shots. All I was saying was, hey. The guy had shoulder surgery. He's the most active and reliable champion, arguably in UFC history, at least in the last 5 to 6 years. Like, just chill out a second.
But it's hard to argue with the idea that this type of stuff works to some degree.
Yes.
Like, we see it with Colby Covington and his continued nerd bash posting. Like, this seems to work, kind of, sort of. But I mean, Demetrius handled it cool as a cucumber. I thought he won that one. Okay, Paul Semtex Daily getting on Instagram.
So if you're on there and you want to give me a follow, it's Semtex170. It's your
Semtex on Instagram, and also now, his first tweet earlier today, saying, "Yo, Michael Page." His Instagram is Semtex170. His Twitter is Semtex_170, saying, "Yo, Michael Page, I hope you win this weekend, but you know what's next. You mentioned you want to fight in the streets, but you know you're not built for this." Coming heavy on the first tweet.
Yeah, the guy went from saying that he'll sign up for Twitter in a few months
year
after having some Merlot and stuff. The guy pops it open. Jeez.
But he came strong. He came correct.
Talk about 0 to 100 real quick there, Paul.
Yeah. Got that Twitter going and used it appropriately to call out Michael Page. Mike Perry. I hope that Semtex is able to use his Twitter to the effect that Mike Perry has been. Really bringing the strength, saying, "I'll say it now because I've been saying it. Someone going to take my idea, but this will be proof. Fighting octagon or square, or a circle or a square, whatever shape, the fight should take place in a bulletproof glass ring. Hashtag Platinum Promotions. No more grabbing the cage. No more blocked view." So Platinum, when it's time for Platinum Promotions, is going to be doing it in a bulletproof glass ring.
Okay.
I mean,
thank you.
Makes sense, no?
Yeah. What is this?
Kevin Lee in Thailand is going to eat a scorpion.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do this?
I know that guy taking the video. He's a UFC social media guy.
So you would never eat this?
No. Live?
No, it's cooked. It looked like it was cooked.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's totally different. No, I'm good. I'm good, dog.
Look at that, Kevin Lee, champ.
I wonder what it tastes like, because that's not just.
There's only one way to find out, my friend.
Yeah, no, I don't wonder that much. Kevin Lee looking svelte, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he stays on that steady diet of scorpions, he'll keep it up. But shout out to Kevin Lee. I like people doing adventurous
You would do that?
food things. I would do it. I would do it once. I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, I love it. But
what if you actually love it?
I would. Well, then I'd eat it. But I'm guessing I wouldn't. I wouldn't like it. But I would try I would try anything once, food wise. I'm not in a box.
You're not trying like cat in some random place.
Well, it depends. Like not on the street corner. Not here. If I go to a country and they say cat is a delicacy, this is in Thailand. If they said cat was a delicacy, I'd be like,
where did he buy the freaking scorpion?
On the street meat.
Yeah, so there you go. You're buying that?
If I was in a country where it's a delicacy, I would do it.
Delicacy might be pushing it.
I think it is. I think. Look, don't judge here.
I'm not. Well, I'm just saying.
I would do it.
All right.
I would try it. Now somebody's gonna bring a scorpion to the studio for me to eat. But
would you do geese?
I don't know. Do people eat geese?
Yeah,
somewhere.
I saw on Audiatar's Instagram.
I mean, is it that much different from a duck, from another fowl?
Would you do duck?
I've had duck plenty of times.
Would you do liver?
I eat liver all the time.
Tongue?
Liver? Come on, you wouldn't eat liver?
Tongue?
Yeah, for sure.
Testicles?
I've done these. I eat these things on the reg.
Have you had testicles?
I don't know if I've had
legit.
testicles.
That's legit.
I haven't, but I would try it.
Come on.
Look, we can have like a.
No, you're good. You won.
An eating around, not a competition, but you and I both will bring it into the studio. We'll do like an eating around the world segment, and we'll get some testicles in here.
All right.
Okay, BJ Penn here on Instagram showing some love to the legend Matt Hughes. These two, the budding bromance between these two, ever since their careers intertwined, has been incredible to watch. Love you, Matt Hughes. Thank you, UFC Jim, for
that was very cool.
And legend to see us today. BJ Penn and Matt Hughes.
That was very cool.
Two of the GOATs of the sport. Liam Gallagher.
Yes.
Or Gallagher, saying he's just watched the Conor McGregor documentary, saying, I've just watched your film, Conor McGregor, biblical. I want you to be in my new music video as you were, signing LG for Liam Gallagher. Also, The Rock partaking in the documentary.
All of a sudden, these people
all
have
of a sudden,
discovered.
all these people are watching the documentary. The Rock saying Saturday night doc viewing. Conor McGregor is notorious. Great insight into the DNA of this man. Successful and smart businessman. Best part of the success is when you strip it all away. It always comes down to being the hardest worker in the room. Those roots never go away. Solid doc. Well done, brother. So shout out to the team that did this doc. It's still going.
It's a fun doc.
Getting some love.
By the way, there was a time where there weren't a lot of good MMA docs out there. And I know the Mauro one isn't technically MMA, but it's...
We talked about 2 today.
Yeah, we talked about 2 today. That's another one. And the Evan Tanner one that Bobby brought up as well is also one that's worth watching. I'm not sure where you can get that one. You can find it somewhere. But yeah, there was a time where it was just the Smashing Machine and nothing else. And
Choke.
Yeah, Smashing Machine was, in my opinion, far and away the best. But that's a good one.
We have one more. Hang tight. This tag board wasn't cooperating with me.
Sort of like the internet.
What do you mean?
Oh, the stream's been down for
It's been
while.
spotty?
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening to this after the fact, it's all good, but...
Well, if you're listening after the fact, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
That's just gravy for you. Yeah, tag board apparently had a limit on how many things I could
Maybe it's the internet
choose today. No. Not the internet. But this one's important. I have to get this one.
Okay.
Here it is.
There it
okay.
is.
A post from one Ariel Helwani to Instagram.
No. Please, God, no.
Of course, we must share.
Where is it?
Ariel Helwani saying,
Oh, yes.
Wow, the text is so small on this from Tagboard.
You don't have to read
because there's so much. No, we do have to read
No,
this.
please don't. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not going to allow you to read
Ariel
this.
Helwani
Just
saying-
sum up the damn thing.
Okay. Congratulations to you, Ariel. Many people have said it today, but I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations on your movement to ESPN and bringing many, many shows over there to us. Yourself and Chael Sonnen doing a show. Ariel versus the bad guy.
No, Ariel and the bad guy. Jeez,
Oh, sorry.
Get it right.
Well, it'd be better if it was
Versus?
Versus.
All right, I'm gonna suggest that. But we're not competing against each other here. But I get your point. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But congratulations. And if you want to see more, Ariel has it on his social media.
Yes, and I will also say, what is this? Oh, that's
just it running.
There was one thing that I forgot to say at the top of the show many moons ago, and that was essentially that there was only one. There was only one place that I would ever leave this place for, and so I just hope everyone knows. Like, I have a contract that comes to an end in June, but I was not going around asking the world. That's the only place. So I hope people realize how special this place is to me. But the dream job is the dream job, and I was getting tired of working with you.
With me?
I wasn't sure. I was looking at you. I didn't know if you were paying attention, so I wanted to see if you actually would react. All right, let's get to our questions. What else do we have?
That's it. We're going to go to questions.
Yeah.
Hang tight.
Well, I can do the first one.
Yeah, you want to start with the question of the week?
Well, the question of the week is a simple one because I have had a very hard time trying to figure out who I'm favoring going into Sunday's fight in Liverpool. Oh, and before I do that, let me just first give a shout out while you're queuing that. How about this for my good friends at Everton? The Club of Clubs.
They had some news today. Did you see that?
Well, I've been doing a show. What was the news?
You'll find out later.
Good news or bad news?
TBD.
All right. Well, here it is. My good friends at Everton. Look at this box. I mean, you talk about class personified from our friends at Umbro. I mean, look at this thing. Go Everton. Look at that. The brand new kit in a box for me, their most loyal and hardcore fan. We opened said box. We opened it up. And then we even have a letter here, a personalized letter. Please, dearest Ariel, our most loyal supporter, please find enclosed your brand new 2018-2019 Everton home shirt. The shirt was revealed on Monday, April 30th, my son's birthday, by the way, and is available for fans to purchase from Saturday, 5 May, with the first team wearing it for the very first time that same day in our last home game of the season at Goodison Park against Southampton. You have received one of the very limited number of shirts that we are gifting to people ahead of the retail launch. This year's shirt has been released under the campaign title Go On, which has been chosen as both an homage to the Everton fans who use the line to support their team and players every week, but also a way of us highlighting the club's consistent ambition to drive towards or forwards and recognition of our status as football pioneers. We hope that you like the shirt and would appreciate, whatever. So here we go. I read too much.
Whatever.
I read too much there at the end. A little oversharing. But look at that. I mean, you talk about a kit. Wow. Look at that quality. You've got the logo there in the front. You've got a little Angry Birds supporting, which my son was very excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about class personified. There
I'm looking up their schedule to see the next time we can see that kit on the field. And
I'll be wearing it on Sunday, as I unfortunately will not be in Liverpool. But I will be wearing.
Well, neither will they, because they're not playing.
Yeah, well, guess what? Neither is Liverpool. They're playing in Kiev. You should probably know that.
Yeah, but Liverpool is playing. They are playing.
They're not playing in Liverpool. So, all this to say, we appreciate their support as the official club of the MMA Hour and Ariel Helwani's MMA show, and we will continue to support them wherever we may be. So, how about that? I mean, you talk about class oozing off your screen right now. That is just great stuff.
The crumpled jersey lays there.
I think it's kind of cool, actually.
Okay. Question of the day.
Yes. Thank you very much, my friends at Everton.
Who wins on Sunday? Stephen Thompson, Darren Till, with nearly 20,000 votes. 55% saying Stephen Thompson. Are you surprised by that number?
Actually, for a long time, it was 50-50. So what'd you say now?
55 Thompson.
End of the day, no. I mean, that's pretty damn close.
I'm surprised that it's not a wider margin for Thompson, to be honest.
I thought it would be close. Again, you have to remember there's a lot of, Euro fans that are probably voting with their heart here.
Sure.
A lot of English fans. I mean, I did this poll yesterday about
so what you're saying is they're wrong.
No, I'm not saying, but, who knows how objective everyone is being. But that just goes to show, what are the odds?
I believe Thompson was around 2-1 last I looked. Let's see.
That kind of, that kind of speaks to that. I mean, it's a close fight.
No, you know what?
More?
No. It is significantly dropped from that. Thompson is only minus 160. Till is plus 140. So it is tightened quite a bit. Thompson is not as big a favorite as he was at some point.
This might be, recency bias showing, and I could be wrong, but I can't recall the last FS1 main event, like a non-Fox, non-title fight that was just two top dogs going at it that I was this interested in.
It is a compelling fight.
And we'll see what happens. Is it too soon? Is it the beginning of a superstar's run? Is it the moment that Conor experienced in 2014? There's so much intrigue. Now I will say, rest of the card, there's moments, it leaves a little bit to be desired. But the main event to me is worth the price of admission. Plus, you've got Molly McCann making her debut. You've got other English fighters on the card as well. So if you're a fan going,
But everybody's here for that. Yeah. The fight's going to be on the radio. We've talked about it. Like, there's no secret how the tickets were sold on this one.
Yeah.
Thompson versus Till is going to be
What a fight.
Okay. Cro Cop's out of his bout with Roy Nelson. Who should replace him? If they replace him. I know Roy during the show was on social media asking for an opponent, saying who's out there.
He might even be there.
I believe he's there.
Yeah,
he's on the streets looking for somebody to fight. Do you just move up the middleweight title fight?
Well, they have done that. They've officially announced that, but 4 days notice is just incredibly tough.
Yeah.
Although we are dealing with heavyweights, and it's rare for these things to happen to heavyweights where no weight cutting is needed for the most part. There are some guys. One guy that came to mind while I was thinking was Czech Congo had a very short night in San Jose last weekend, and
definitely going to be under the limit.
Definitely going to be under the limit. But again, who's taking a fight on 4 days' notice?
It's a tough. Yeah, look, if there's a potential that gets back in the headline spot,
no, we got to go with the title fight.
Yeah,
title fight should have been the main event from the beginning, in my opinion.
That's another thing. That's fair enough.
And how do you not make this fight available to people online some way, somehow in America is beyond me.
We continue to talk about our friends across the pond. Ali Baisley asking, the real question of the week from the most significant event of the weekend is, who had a better royal wedding dress? Meghan.
Wow.
Did you watch the royal wedding? So this is our time. Did you watch it?
Could I tell you something? My mother could do a 6-hour broadcast on the royal wedding.
Well, it's interesting because I actually have her on the line. No,
is that true? Oh, wow. My heart just stopped for a second.
I could have.
No.
I didn't.
I don't know if she would probably never do it. But that being said, she is obsessed. She loves dating back to Diana. She loves everything about that family. And she woke up. She typically wakes up at 4 a.m. to work out. She's very dedicated like that. But she was up 4:30 watching all the coverage to the very end. I have rarely heard my mother this disappointed.
Whoa.
Yeah, after when we spoke after the wedding, the ceremony, she was very disappointed. She is a huge Kate fan, and she liked how sort of classic it all was. The dress and the blah blah blah. But I will say I thought it was nice. I woke up at like 6:30, not to watch it because that's when we wake up with the little kids, and it seemed like a nice ceremony. They seem in love. He was sweating a lot. Prince Harry was. Seemed a little anxious. There was the one reverend there who kind of stole the show, who was very entertaining. They had George Clooney and Serena Williams.
So it sounds like you watched it.
I made a point when I woke up. I fired it up. There's no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. And my daughter was even somewhat captivated by it, and she's only 18 months. So I'm a sucker for these things. You know what's compelling about it? People are like, well, who cares? How often, even when you have a celebrity, right? Like when you find out that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are getting married, right? You are never privy to the actual ceremony.
No.
You hear about it. You see photos.
See Instagram photos.
You see, a paparazzi shot.
Yeah.
Very rarely, if ever, in our lifetime, have weddings been televised like that. I mean, we had William, 7 or so years ago, and then the Diana wedding, but it's very rare. So, I think that's why we're so captivated by it, because you never get to watch weddings live, and especially ones that are that extravagant. And I know it's very polarizing, and I'm not educated enough to speak on where the money goes. And I thought Paul brought up a good point about what the family does as far as tourism is concerned. I do know that Prince Harry is well liked and has done a lot for the community, and his philanthropic efforts have been very appreciated. But that was crazy. I saw this one tweet of Meghan Markle outside Buckingham Palace as a tourist, from the 90s, and now she's married to the guy. That is wild.
Yeah. To answer your question, Ollie.
Yes. Oh,
they both look beautiful.
Yeah, they both look fine. They both look great. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, let's not.
They both had their own look.
Pit them against each other.
Pippa, although is the real star. Pippa.
There you go. Yeah. Pippa Middleton. Yeah. Okay. Ariel, Christopher saying the MMA Hour live from Flint, Michigan. That's come on. Chill.
That's my honest aid.
What you drinking? Oh, is it? It looked a little cloudier today. It's usually more yellow.
Is it? No, you're right. This was the iced tea one. I like the orange mango. You see,
I'm very attuned to these things.
I ran out of my body armor stock, so I now have to go to and this is way too sugary. I'm not one who complains about the level of sugar in drinks.
Back to the yellow joint.
Yeah, I think I'm going back.
Okay.
Thank you for noticing.
Last question, Ariel. Can we have you do a shoey on the last broadcast?
You see, the thing is about that is, again, as I said at the top, I'm not here to make a big deal about everything. It's just a continuation. It's an extension. It's a continuation. And on top of all of that, that is the most disgusting thing that you could possibly subject me to, especially if we're talking the authentic shoey, as I've learned. With the spitting.
With the spit. Yeah, no. I have to tell you, I feel really bad for Tai Tuivasa.
Why?
Because now it's he can't escape this thing.
Does he seem like the kind of guy who's looking to escape this?
He doesn't.
Seems like
he does not. He
down for a shoey at any point.
But it's almost it's like shoey. At a certain point, you don't want to be Steve Urkel all the time. Sometimes you want to be Stefan Urkel.
I think he's good. I mean, let's be honest. This thing has, it's lasted 3 months? We've got at least another year until this becomes.
Oh, you're so happy to just, he's great.
He did it to himself.
He did, and I'm happy that he's found this thing and this niche. But I just hope people give him a little bit of a break.
I hope not. I hope Chicago comes with shoeys in full force and is just pelting him with them. Could you imagine if he wins? If he wins because of what he did in Perth, he's going to be looking for one. Like if no one actually steps up to the plate and delivers cage side, it will be a huge letdown. I'll just say that. Especially if he like knocks out Arlovsky as he's been doing his first like 7 or so fights.
Big fight coming up for him.
You got to do it.
Oh boy. All right, that's it.
All right, my man. Thank you very much. Great stuff. We have stuck around too long, so you can hit my music, Austin. It has been a great day. Thank you very much to everyone who. Oh, there it is. Yes. Boom. Way to go. Happy Victoria Day, everyone. Happy Victoria Day and happy Memorial Day on Monday. And that is a good reminder to tell you that we are not here next Monday, but we are back on Tuesday. So, as we like to do on Memorial Day, we like to observe and not do a show. We did one, I think, a few years ago, but it has been a while. Anyway, what a great day. What an emotional roller coaster it has been. I can't see everything here. I'm trying to pull this up because I want to thank everyone who has stopped by today. But yes, I am spent. Want to thank everyone who tuned in. Want to thank everyone who stopped by. Want to thank Ian McCall for stopping by. And again, congratulations to him. If you missed it, Ian McCall announcing his retirement at the top of the show. So congrats and happy trails to Uncle Creepy. Thank you very much to Paul Daly for stopping by. Great stuff from him. Thank you very much to, and I guess congrats on Instagram and Twitter. Good luck with the meeting later on this week. Thank you very much to Alistair Overeem. How great was that? Good luck to him on June 9th, UFC 225. Congratulations to LFA and, of course, Ed Soares. Thanks to him for stopping by to announce the news of his new ownership. All the best to John Hackelman and good luck with your training, alongside Chuck Liddell for his potential MMA return. Mauro Ranallo, thank you so much to him. Words cannot truly express how thankful I am to him. And do check out the documentary on May 25th. Thank you very much to Makwan Amirkhani, Valentina Shevchenko, Bobby Razik, Chris Cyborg, and of course, Yair Rodriguez. Back next week, same time, place, those at. Peace.